Morning guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to part 2 on the little Fiesta ST150 track car. In today's video we're cracking on with the prep work. We're going to strip the bumpers down, start prepping the bonnet and the bumpers and get everything ready, hopefully get some primer on them. So I've had a little look over this bumper. It's got an aftermarket splitter and they've used some Allen keys and some nuts behind it. So I've got my tools out. Let's get this all stripped down and we'll see you in a bit. Ended up changing to 80 grit. There was so many stone chips, but quite a lot of them weren't all the way through, but there were so many that were all the way through, and they leave little marks, and if you don't get the marks out of the metal and clean the metal back up, then that'll end up rusting and coming back through. So I think I've pretty much done every stone chip that I could physically see. So now what I'll do is I'll up-grit that, I'll smooth it out with a bit of 180 and then 320 or 240, and then that's ready for a primer. What we'll do is we'll probably put either some etch primer over the bare metal or some epoxy over the whole lot, and then some high build primer. So I'm going to carry on up-gritting this lot and then we'll move on to the bumpers. See you in a bit. There we go guys, that's all sanded up to 320 grit. I gave it a clean down with some water-based panel wipe or degreaser, and then some solvent panel wipe. For my American viewers, like a prep sole. That's all ready for a bit of primer, so we'll end up either etch priming it first or epoxy priming it, and then we'll put probably 3 coats of high build on it. Block it all down, get that ready for paint. Let's move on to the bumpers. See you in a moment. gajillion hours later. Yeah, they're all done. There was loads of stone chips on the front bumper. I've ironed them right out. We've gone all the way up to 320, so that'll be good for a bit of plastic primer and then some high build. Same again on the rear. There was loads of flaking paint at the bottom, so I had to take that right back. And the same in that corner over there. And that's the boot strip that had flaking lacquer. I've got to still go around and do some bits of scotching in the little niggly bits that you can't get to a sander by hand. But I'll get them wrapped up, and then we'll get a final clean down, get all the parts off, get them in the booth, and we'll get some extra epoxy on that, plastic primer on the plastics, and then 2 or 3 coats of decent eye build over them, and we are rocking. So yeah, I'll catch up with you when we're ready to prime. See you in a while. Right guys, all the bits are in the booth now. I hope you can hear me up there. Sorting out my primer. The bumper and the plastic parts, I've all had plastic primer on them, and that's had a bit of etch primer over the cut throughs. Right, let's get some primer on, get this sorted. it guys, all primed up, all the pieces there, the bonnet's looking good, no horrible wobbles or anything like that in it. Went for white primer, I always use white primer under reds like that. It's that. Some of you are going to ask why I didn't do that middle piece. That's covered by another piece of the grill, and that's the original paint. It doesn't really need it, so we'll just flat the primer on the edge and give that a little tickle over when that's done. Oh, I forgot to show you, there's the Polo bumper. I've redone it, just got to flat and polish it. Couple of little nibs in it, but yeah, looking really nice now. That's that lot all sorted. All we've got left to do is the new wings, which are in there. I'll scotch them off. I'll probably put some epoxy primer on the front and back of them and get them sorted. But I'm going to wrap that up for today. We'll call that part 2. And yeah, in the next bit we'll be flattening all the primer down, getting that ready for paint, and hopefully getting some paint on that. I'll also include probably epoxy priming them wings and sorting them out. Yeah. That's it. I'm going to go get the paint colour matched, and well, I'm going to spectro it. I'm taking one of the wings down. The customer doesn't want it blended because it's going to end up being both sides of the car. The car itself's got stone chips, and also down the mouldings. I'm going to try and polish the mouldings up for them and get a bit of colour back in, but literally the stone chips go all the way to here and obviously into the rear quarter. So it then goes from having 2 front wings to doing both sides of the car. So this colour's Colorado red. I'm going to get it spectroed, try and get the very best match we can, and we're going edge to edge, and hopefully it'll look well. But it's one of them. I can only do what I'm paid to do, and unfortunately I do understand customers' budget, because it'll end up being a massive job doing all of that lot, and he only wants it tidied up. It is going to be for him to use, and he wants it looking pretty, which I don't blame him. So yeah, so you'll see plenty of that in the next bit. So as always, a massive thanks for watching, and we'll see you very soon in the next one. Stay safe and be lucky.